All right. Hi there, and thanks for joining me today. I'm excited to walk you through our unit, which is developed for WebFace, and basically allow me to walk you through the summative assessment for a design unit. And I'm gonna start with Criterion A and strand A1. It's a very, very important part of what we are relearning in this term under web design. So make sure that you have your notes ready. So let's jump right in. So if you look at what I shared with you, it's a document of this kind. I have it here. It's a document of this kind where you have to modify it, change where there is add your name and replace it with your real name. Okay, this year we are formulating our portfolio. Then the title is Unit 3, which is developed for WebFace. Our school is Green Hills Academy. Then the grade is grade 9. So for this case, you can say grade 9, let's say grade 9 AB or AB2 or CD2. The subject is design, but you can add something called digital design. Then the due date is 6th May 2025. Now, you are provided with a scenario or a design situation that will give you a profound scope of your research. Here it reads, most organizations and businesses would benefit from having a website. The internet is an extremely good way of advertising goods and services. The internet is a good way of advertising. So we are looking at the situation is about advertising, creating an online visibility of the business that is still doing things locally. Customers to order goods online. It is also an excellent means of communication. Identify a business. Now this is where the question starts from. Identify a business that does not have a company website and design a 4-page site for them. So you hold a project at the end of the entire unit is to produce a website with 4 pages. Okay, these pages may include like home page, about us, services, and contact, or it will depend on how you you come up with the ideas from exactly what challenges your client is going through. Now, here is strand A1. Explain and justify the need for a solution to a problem. To a problem. Now, every summative is accompanied by a checklist, and also the checklist is provided to you in the manage bank. Now, for this strand A1, you at least supposed to have 1 page. Okay, don't use 2 pages for A1. Use 1 page. Then, what are the strategies? What should encompass A1? In A1, we're looking at 2 command terms. Explain is a command term. Justify is a command term. So here we are looking at 2 command terms. Explain as a command term, then justify as a command term. The need for a solution to a problem for a specific client. Now this is something very important that you need to give more time. Specific client, not generalizing. For audience, you can generalize, but for a client, must be specific. Now, when you come to strategies, or what should entail in A1 is introduce the problem and give some background information about the problem. Here you are now explaining. You introduce the problem and give the background information about the problem. Support with data or statistics. Everything in your portfolio must is bold, accompanied by statistical data. In other words, primary research. For example, there is no way how you're going to do this assignment in a fictitious way. This work is non-fiction because you identified the challenge and you're addressing the challenge. There is no way how you're going to make it more superficial or you make it phony so that it has no reality. Here in design, we deal with real life challenges. Another entity, what is supposed to be entailed in A1 is whom the problem is affecting. Support with data or statistics. Who is being affected by the problem? So that is the client. How did you know there is a problem? How did you come to this? All this, it's under explanation. Conduct a primary research to validate the existence of the problem. So for this case, you need to use data gathering tools like questionnaires, or interviewing, surveys, that's all. Then who is your target audience? Having understood or having identified your client. Now the client should or must tell you the target audience of his or her product. So this will be your target audience and why. So you are supporting it. So what is the product and why? All this is still under explanation. So when we go to justification, if I take you to this, here is how we do it. Here, implying that here I can have my client. Okay, I may say K and J hardware. Kigali, let's say. Then audience, people looking for construction materials. Okay, this one can be my client, K and J hardware. Then the audience can be, let me just change something small here. The audience can be people looking for construction materials. So here we will have maybe civil engineers, okay, and civil engineers and other people in Kigali. Okay, that is it. Now below this, it is better to talk about the key concept, which is development. So here, talk about development. Development is blah 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 blah. Is so you define it. Either you can get this information as your secondary research from the internet, from Google. Then here, put a link or the source. Link or the source of your research, which is the definition here of development. Then talk about how the key concept relates to the problem or to your research. How is it related to your research? Then now down here, now to start the background information about the client, okay, the problem. So about the client and the problem. So this is at least here, at least 8 lines, at least 8 lines here. Okay, so what do you put here is where the client's business is found. So here you can talk about address, street number, maybe web address in case they have one. Yeah, in case they have one. Where the client's business is found. Now here is how and when you approached how and when you approached the client. Okay, so here evidence this with data in appendix as refer to appendix A1. So this one must be, you must have done interview. Okay, you must have done interview. Another thing to include under the background information about the client and the problem, here you need to talk about what is the exact problem. What's the exact problem? When did it start? And what is the magnitude of the problem? Okay. Okay. What's the state now? In other words, what is the state now? Okay. If it is hardware business, maybe they started it in 2020 with monthly projection of a given number of clients, let's say 40, but in 2021 their target they hit maybe 14, 2022 maybe 15, 2023 maybe 20, 2024 maybe 25. So they have never even achieved the set target of 40 customers per month. Now you need to be all putting all that information as your statistical data. So this information is supposed to be provided to you by at least someone you're interviewing. So these are questions you even add in your questionnaire. So the whole of this is under the background here. That's all. Even here you can talk about anticipated solution. Okay, here what the product you're going to develop, and why. So that is okay. Now we go to justification as the second command term here. Justification. So what do you add under justification? Justification has two sides. Justification, you have to weigh, justify. Is the solution needed? Yes. So here we talk about positivity of having the solution. Why do you think the solution is needed to address or to curb down the problem? So here, at least here 5 lines are enough. This is now your own creativity. After you have gathered research, you now come in to talk about this. This is your own creativity. Then another part here under justification is prognosticate, which implies here a negative side. Negative if not solved. Also, this is creativity. 6 lines. You have done research and you have found that there is a challenge affecting that enterprise or that business. Now, from the statistical data you have way back from 2020 up to 2024, when you look at the scope, how things have been happening, if the set target for customers per month was 40, and since 2020 up to date, they have never hit that target, what do you see the fate of this business in the coming 4 years? Now you just bundle it into it. That's what now we talk about under procrastinate, or negative side of not creating the solution. So here you affirm that the solution is indeed needed. So here you're trying to convince, you're persuading. Here you are affirming, you persuading that the solution is what is needed. So if you take a look at, this marks the end of it for A, provided you have these elements that I've talked about. Now if you look at what this learner did, this is an example of a portfolio that I even shared with you. The target audience here were students aged 14 to 18. The client was Salom Mugabo. Now this is information about the key concept. Here now this is the background information about the client, and the problem started from here. Then while this issue can affect both boys and girls anywhere in the world, so he started to talk. Now this is justification, started from here. This is justification, okay, up to somewhere like here. This is negative part, prognostication. Wow, that is it all I had for you in this section of Criterion A, strand A1. Otherwise, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask me via the email, or basically through the email. Otherwise, thank you. A good time.